Okay. Well, you know what time it is, don't you? Yeah. Just gotta wait for YouTube Studio to wake up and we can do the thing whenever it decides to wake up out of its little slumber. Then we can cook, right? Yeah. Check my phone here. All right, we are good to go. What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with another Guardians series recap, series preview live stream. It honestly feels like I was just here because I was. A few days ago, I was previewing the series against the Twins, recapping the series against the Reds, and, well, for the most part, nothing really changed. The Guardians' offense was still hella anemic, as I call it, feeble for the vast majority of this series. Of course, the Red Series, they couldn't really score for crap. Of course, heading into this series against Minnesota, it's kind of feeling all right about it. I mean, we've been we did really well against Minnesota first time, especially after that first game, because, Bailey Ober essentially bent us over a little bit, with the damn changeup. Of course, heading into the series, we knew Mother Nature was going to have a little something for us. Of course, it rained every single game of this series. The sun did not shine, I don't think, at all during these games. Here's where things get funky. Funky monkey. So, first game of the series, of course, was on May 20th, right? It was scheduled for May 20th. Right? Yeah, May 20th. Oh, yeah, May 19th. But, of course, Mother Nature. Now, what really got me puzzled was that we played in Cincinnati. Similar situation, right, with weather. But the people over there in Cincy clutched up. They were like, Mother Nature is going to bring us a little something, something. So instead of making y'all wait, let's bump the game ahead an hour. And that hour difference was huge because right as the game was ending, as we saw, the storm clouds were rolling in. And of course, we all remember what happened, right? Now, they didn't do that with this one. The game started on May 19th and would not end until today or yesterday, the 21st. It would be the longest game ever. Now, starting the game was Logan Allen against Bailey Ober. And Logan, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either. 3 innings because of Mother Nature. 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Bailey Ober, well, yeah, he was doing his usual stuff. 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 Ks. Now, they would try twice to get this thing going. First off, we would score top of the first. Manzardo, RBI double gave us the lead. As usual, they would respond with an RBI single from Ty France. So it's okay, it's tied. They take the lead, bottom second. Willie Castro, RBI double. This was right after, I believe, they came back from the delay on there. They held it off just long enough for them to take the lead. for the third. Self again. They said, yo, not doing this. Gotta do tarps. Bring out the tarps. It's again. What a grind. Stop rating. Essentially, right? It's the next day. Finish this game. So, Guardians will be in Minnesota. So, fast forward to today, right? And of course, it's raining, but they're like, man, we gotta play. And you could just tell by the body language of, the guys on the field. They didn't want to be out there, but they had to be because they can't afford to have more doubleheaders. That series at the end of September is going to be a long ass series already. God, you don't want freaking 3 straight days of doubleheaders, a 6-game series. Ouch. So, fast forward to today, technically the 21st. They finally get back underway. The Guardians once again strike first. This time, though, Carlos Santana would homer off of Joe Ryan. The Twins went with Joe Ryan, who was supposed to start, I think, the third game of the series, or game 2, one of those 2 games. He was supposed to start, I think, today. And they pitched him in the little continuation game. So, Santana homered, right? Good stuff. He's been able to mash against the Twins. Then, of course, for some reason, the Guardians, obviously, they weren't going to put Allen out there again, but they went bullpen. They didn't go with the projected starter and Tanner Bibee, I'm guessing. I think it was supposed to be Bibee or whatever, but they didn't go with the projected starter for the third game. Nope. They went with bullpen. Jacob Junis came out there and gave up 2 runs immediately, of course. It's 4-2 right off the bat. Classic. And then, bottom 8, Harrison Bader would add a run. 5-2. And I'll admit, at this point, I'm like, okay, we're cooked. And the Guardians just had to do a little bit of rallying. Nolan Jones would single to add a run, right, in the top of the 9th. Made it 5-3. And literally down to his final strike, I believe it was, 2 out. Tying run on second. Bo Naylor lines a double off the wall, very tippy top of the wall. Any higher, that thing is probably a homer. And maybe even any farther to the right, and it would have been a homer because it would have been off the foul pole. But he tied the game. Of course, the baseball gods had to humble us a little bit because, as you know, we've been walking them off in Cleveland how many times? So we bring out Cade Smith, and he's been kind of rocky. And he would give up the base hits, and then, we would get walked off. So we lose game 1, 6-5. And that was just typical Guardians, right? You finally score, offense wakes up, you tie the game, and you get walked off. Of course. So then, the win, of course, would go to Duran. He's 2-0 with a 1.21 ERA. And the loss would go to Cade Smith, who is 1-2 with a 2.95 ERA. So that was game 1 of 2. And then we get to the second game. The game that was today. Today's original game. We had Gavin Williams on the mound. By the way, I don't know if I went through Joe Ryan's stat because he got the bulk of the innings. 5 innings for him, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a homer. They rode him hard, giggity. Through those hard innings. The heart of those innings, man. Someone said he was like damn near going through a little league. He was practically going through like a little league complete game. 6 innings. But we started getting hits on him. He started to struggle. They took him out, brought in Duran, and then he would blow the save. But so now we talk about today's game, the actual game that was originally scheduled. Gavin Williams against Paddock. Chris Paddock. And of course, we know Gavin, right? Gavin is known to have great outings, but no to limited run support. For a while there, it looked like the same old, right? Gavin looked solid. I mean, look at his stat line. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run allowed, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Beautiful stat line. Full. Paddock, yeah, we got to him a bit. 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. As, of course, they're showing the game now on MLB Quick Pitch. Classic. So Ryan Jeffers would get them on the board first with an RBI single. And it would be 1-0 until the top of the 6th when the Guardians figured out how to manufacture runs other than hitting a ball, as Varland would come in, and this is how the whole inning would go, right, in the top of the 6th. It was not a fun inning for Twins fans, that's for sure. The Guardians would threaten a lot, too, by the way. And, oh, wow. So, Ramirez would single. Manzotto popped out. Yeah. Rough series for him. Santana would walk, like he always does. And Daniel Schneemann would walk. It's like, these at-bats were like very grinding, try-hardish. 5 pitches for Santana, only 1 strike. Schneemann, beautiful at-bat. I mean, talk about a good eye. 8-pitch at-bat, including like 3 straight foul-offs. Beautiful at-bat from him. Drew a walk, bases loaded. Varland comes in for Paddock. Gabriel Arias comes up. And I'm like, man, this dude's going to screw us over, isn't he? We have a chance to tie the game. 1 out, and this bum's going to freaking ruin it. He would fight off some tough pitches. Now, there was 1 pitch. It was way up high. For some dumb reason, he's swinging at it for whatever God knows reason. And he would actually draw a walk and tie the game. Yeah, he would tie the game. And then Nolan Jones would get a sac fly to give us the lead for the first time in God knows how long. And then that would be it for that. So we have a 2-1 lead. And as far as how did we do right after? Because again, the Guardians, right? They love to give up response runs. Well, bottom 6 comes up. Beautiful inning, right? Beautiful inning out of Gavin. Ground out, strikeout. Bang, no problem. 2 pitches to Brooks Lee. The almighty Royce Lewis, 1 pitch out. Cody Clemens, 4-pitch K. Only 1 pitch was a ball. He was cooking 95 miles per hour in the 6th, late in his outing. Good stuff. And then, we do nothing in the 7th. Bottom 7 comes up. All they get is a walk. But then we get Bader trying to steal, which is kind of funny because the dirt was so tacky and just so slippery. Why would you even try that? Mind you, it was raining most of the day. I'm not trying to do that. I mean, it's muddy, it's slippery. I'm not trying to do that. Hell no. And yeah, so we get Castro to fly out. And in the top eight, the Guardians added some more runs. Cole Sands comes in, gets Manzota to pop out. But then Carlos Santana strikes again, as they just showed it on TV here. Solo shot to right field, and he put us up 3-1. But that's not it, because then top of the ninth comes up, and the Guardians add a few more, courtesy of a Ana Martinez sac fly, and then a Jose Ramirez RBI single to put it away. Guardians win 5-1, and they split the two-gamer. And the most beautiful stat I see, 3 hits allowed from Gavin. Actually, 2 hits from Gavin, 1 from Clase. There only 2 walks from Gavin, too. I don't think you could ask for a much better outing from Gavin. He would get the win. He's 4-2 with a 3.94 ERA. Paddock would take the loss. He's 2-4 with a 3.98 ERA. Guardians 5 runs, 11 hits. Twins 1 run, 3 hits. So good job to snap the Schneid. Boy, did they need to, because looking at what they got coming up, they need to be all hands on deck for this series against the Tigers coming up here. It is going to be a tough one for sure. So, of course, by the way, Paddock, yes, 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Gavin, 6 innings of 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Beautiful stuff out of Gavin. So then, let's move on to tomorrow. First game of the series in Detroit. It'll be Tanner Bibee against Jack Flaherty. And what a difference a year makes, right? Because not so long ago, the Tigers traded him. Because, they were bad. They traded him. And then now we look at them and they're good. They're 33-17. Best record they've had in ages at this point. And the Guardians are 26-22. We just snapped a 5-game skid. Now we're trying to build something here. It's going to be tough, though. Tanner Bibee against Flaherty. Bibee 3-4, 4.06 ERA, 35 Ks. Jack Flaherty, of course, 2-5, 4.44 ERA, 56 Ks. Against Tanner, I mean, duh, obviously. Kerry Carpenter, a home run and 3 RBIs. And then Baez has 2 RBIs. Dingler and Riley Green have RBIs. Holt Keith has 3 RBIs and 9 at-bats. McKinstry has 2 RBIs. And then on the other side against Flaherty, Brennan has an RBI. Quan has an RBI. Lou Naylor has a homer and an RBI. J-Ram, of course, has 2 and 3. 2 homers, 3 RBIs. And he needs to be the AL Central boogeyman again. Because he's been kind of quiet. Been very quiet lately. Of course, these 2 pitchers have done. Tanner, he's just been bit by bad luck, right? Jack Flaherty against the Guardians in his career. Let's take a look real quick here. Flaherty against the Guards. We've only faced him a few times, I'm pretty sure. Mainly with the Tigers. I don't think we've really faced him much with the Cardinals. But Flaherty, he's coming off a 5 2/3 inning, 5 hit, 2 run, 1 walk, 6 K performance with a win over Toronto. So yeah, he's coming off back-to-back losses though before that against the Angels and the Rangers, who really got to him. Yeah. So if you're the Guardians, you gotta work him hard and, get some runs off him. Now Tanner, he's coming off a loss. Now Tanner, he's coming off a loss where he got beat up pretty good by Cincinnati. Yeah, 6 innings beat up pretty good by Cincinnati. Yeah, 6 innings. All right, so let's see what we get. All right, so let's see what we get out of Tanner tomorrow. I'm curious. Game. Now we move into Friday, and it will be Slade Cecconi against Jackson Jobe. Now, Jackson Jobe, I don't think we've faced him because he's only a rookie, I believe. But how about Slade? Obviously, we know what Slade did in his last outing. I don't even need to talk about it. Against the Reds. He was great. Offense just didn't show up. So Slade has never faced the Tigers. And obviously, Jackson Jobe, I don't think has ever faced the Guardians. So yeah. Every time I hear Slade, I just think of Teen Titans. Slade. Whereas his actual name is Deathstroke. But obviously, for a kid's show, they're not going to call him Deathstroke. They're going to call him Slade. So, yeah, two pitchers who, well, actually, Torres faced Cecconi, and he only had one at bat. That's tough. But yeah, this should be fun. Now, Cecconi is 0-1 with a 5.40 ERA, 8 Ks, coming off the season debut, fresh off injury. He looked good. And then against Jobe, who's 4-0 with a 4.12 ERA and 32 Ks. So it'll be an interesting one. It'll be an interesting one, for sure. Now, obviously, like I said, we know what Slade did, but in case you didn't watch, let's go through what Slade did against the D-backs. I mean, it did against the Reds. But Jackson Jobe is coming off 6 innings of 6 hit, 2 run, 2 walk, 5K ball against Toronto. And Slade is coming off 5 innings of 5 hits, 3 runs, 8 Ks against the Reds. And I believe those runs were all via homer, mostly. Yeah. And even runs, aside from allowing 5 against Washington, he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good, not gonna lie. 5 and 2/3 against St. Louis on the 19th. 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Banned bar for bar. Now against Skubal, he's 2-2 with a 3.46 ERA, 44 Ks, and 8 appearances. Now it's important to note his 2 wins have come the last 2 years since he really took a step up. The 2 losses, though, were when he was still kind of not great. Obviously, 2021, when the Guardians were a damn machine. You know, 4 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, 3 homers. 4 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, 3 homers allowed. Since then, he's been a damn animal. So this is going to be tough. Obviously, Logan Allen, he's had his moments. But of course, Skubal has been as amazing of a pitcher as you can have. But against these two, Logan Allen, 2-2, 3.86 ERA, 34 Ks. Skubal, my God, 4-2, 2.87 ERA. We're in May, and this dude has 79 strikeouts already. He'll have 100 by mid-June. He might be a 250K pitcher. My God. Against Allen, though, Baez has an RBI. Ibanez has 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Of course, that's Andy Bonds. Andy Ibanez. Lefty masher. And then Torkelson has 1 homer, 2 RBIs. And then against Skubal, Hedges has an RBI, and Santana has an RBI. J-Ram is Still batting .429 with 21 ABs with an 1122 OPS. And Skubal is coming off a no decision against St. Louis. Well, they roughed him up a bit. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. Remember, there was a game against us last year with Skubal where he gave up a crazy, 10 hits last year. He won, but he gave up 10 hits. But the offense was just so they couldn't figure out how to score. That could have easily been like a 6-7 earned run game. Damn, that was crazy. We saw what happened in the playoffs, right? Yeah, that was tough. That's tough. We hate to see that. Lane Thomas. If Lane Thomas comes back tomorrow, that would just be epic troll job by the Guardians. That would be an epic troll job, but I don't think he's ready to come back yet, which is good news for the Tigers because those fans do not want to see Lane Thomas come to the dish. David Fry, for that matter, too. He's also on a rehab start, which he should be back soon. So yeah, that is the matchups for this 4-game series. It should be a doozy. I can't wait. Of course, this is the first series of the year against these guys. And we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we can at least take 2 out of 4. But who knows? It'll be a fun one, that's for sure. Skubal, bruh. Wow. Logan coming off a game against the Twins. 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. The game, of course, was shortened due to Mother Nature getting involved. So that's all I got for this one. And I will see you all tomorrow for Timberwolves and Thunder. Okay? Now, just a reminder, after we're done with the Tigers, we have the Dodgers coming to town. Oh, joy. Oh, my God. I'm not ready for that one. Oh, well. So, with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to head out and probably get me a snack or something before bed. All right? So, I'll see you guys later. Let's go, Guardians. I'm Crazy Dog. Have a good rest of your night. Of course, Pesos got some devil magic. I am 100% certain OGT they perform some sort of rituals underneath the Gamebridge Fieldhouse. They gotta be sacrificing some animals or something, man. My God. They got a freaking voodoo wizard or something. I swear. I've never seen a team just come down with a case of magnet ball like that before. I haven't seen that since the Cavs did it a few times in the regular season. That is some pure devil magic that they have. Voodoo dark devil magic. Not even at home either. They're doing this on the road. That's how pure it is. That's how pure their devil magic is. It's so potent, it works even on the road. Devil magic isn't like that kind of stuff is not supposed to happen on the road. That's insane. But yeah, guys, I will see you all later. Have a good rest of your night. Shout out to Daniel. Says happy Wednesday. Well, no, it's Thursday. But happy Wednesday, Thursday, depending on where you're living. Shout out to OGT. And subscribe to OGT's channel too, by the way. He doesn't really make a whole lot of videos. He'll try to go live every once in a while. But yeah, oh man, I just need us to get at least 2 out of this series against Detroit. So with that being said, go Guardians. I'm Crazy Dog, and I'm out. Bye-bye. I'm just happy we won against the freaking Twins. Finally got us out of that schneid. It was so damn annoying. Offense all of a sudden couldn't score. Especially coming off a series against the Brewers where we shut them down 2 out of 3 games. And even in that final game, we were still scoring runs. We just couldn't beat them. You know, it is what it is. Then we can't score against the Reds. And then, of course, it translates over to the Twin series. It's freaking ridiculous. I tell you what. Hopefully, Mother Nature behaves against the Tigers. But I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Bye bye. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, too, let me actually take a look real quick. Because that Twins game that was postponed, the one that we didn't even play, because it's a 3-game series. One game got started, it had to be made up today, which they did. We lost. And then you had the game that we actually played. There was one game that we did not play. I believe that game was September 20th. Let me check. So, for anyone who's wondering, Ben Lively probably won't be back for a while. Shane Bieber will probably be back before him. And Bieber most likely comes back by next month. Maybe. September. Yeah, here it is. It'll be a 4-game series coming out of Detroit. Oh, that's tough. I think we have Detroit again. Oh my God, bro. It's like they got us facing all Central Division teams at the end of the month of September. We have a 7-game 7-game homestand against Kansas City for 4, White Sox for 3, and then another 7-game road trip in Detroit for 3 and in Minnesota for 4. And then we have Detroit again for 3 at home, and then we have the Rangers. And then that's it. Oh, fun. That'll be a blast. We have the Red Sox too. Yeah, we faced the Red Sox at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. That's freaking nuts. And then we go to the Yankees spring training facility to face the Rays at the end of the year too, in September. Who knows what the Guardians team is going to look like by then? We'll probably have Bieber back, hopefully. John Means should be back, which is crazy. You know, Fry, of course. You know, we might see some prospects called up. Lane Thomas will probably be back if he's still with the team. By that time, he should be back. Hopefully, you know, no other major injuries happen. But yeah, guys, see you guys later. Bye-bye. Yeah. Oh, yeah.